You just got your first real paycheck. It hit your account this morning, and maybe it's the first one from a real job. Maybe it's bigger than anything you've seen before. And you've got about 2 weeks to figure out what to do with it before the next one comes. Most people at this point do one of three things: they spend it, they save a little, and spend the rest with no real system, or they panic and try to build a full financial plan in a weekend. I want to give you something simpler than any of those. One rhythm that'll carry you for the next 20 years if you let it. And I'll show you where it should grow from there so the rhythm actually keeps up as your income does. I'm Kyle Blackwell. I'm a certified financial planner, and I've spent almost 2 decades sitting with families working through their money. And the single most common question I've gotten from young adults is exactly this one: what should I actually do with my first paycheck when it comes in? The answer is simpler than you think: 10, 10, 80. Let me walk you through it. The first 10 is give. I want to be straight with you about this one. For me, this is rooted in faith. I tithe. 10% of what comes in goes back to God through my local church. It's how I was raised. For a long time, it was just obedience. Now it's conviction. The money was never mine to begin with. And giving the first 10 back is how I remind myself of that every month. Not everybody watching this shares that belief. I get it. The principle still holds without it. Give 10% of your income away before anything else clears your account. You can call it whatever fits: tithe, generosity, supporting a cause that matters to you. The word matters way less than the order. Giving first is the simplest habit I know for keeping money from owning you. Every time money comes in and goes right back out before you spend a dollar on yourself, you're training your hands to hold it loosely. The balance is what it is, but your posture toward it changes. When giving comes last, after bills, after wants, after whatever's left, it almost always shrinks. I've watched this play out for almost 20 years. People who fully intend to give more end up giving less as their income grows because the order's wrong. And honestly, the order matters more than the number does. Give first, 10%, and automate it if you can. The second 10 is save, and this one has a wrinkle I want to walk you through carefully because it actually changes the order if your employer offers a retirement match. Here's what I mean. If you got a 401k match at work, meaning your employer puts in 50 cents or a dollar for every dollar you contribute up to a certain percentage, that is free money. There's honestly no other way to describe it. And in my opinion, you should be participating in that match before almost anything else, even if you still got some consumer debt. I know that's not the standard advice you will hear from a lot of teachers in this space, but I'm telling you what I tell my own kids. The match is such a strong return that it almost always outweighs the cost of carrying the debt for a little longer while you capture it. Don't leave free money on the table. So in practice, here's how the second 10 actually works. First move: capture the full employer match. Whatever percentage your employer matches, contribute at least that much. That's where your second 10 starts. Second move: build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high yield savings account. This is the boring part of personal finance that nobody tells stories about. It's also the thing that keeps you out of consumer debt when life happens. And life always happens. Third move: after the match is captured and the emergency fund is funded, anything beyond that goes to paying off consumer debt, credit cards, student loans, anything dragging you down. You're not adding more to investments yet. You're killing the debt. Once the consumer debt is gone, then you start scaling up your investing beyond the match: a Roth IRA, a brokerage account. The vehicles matter less than the habit at this point. Here's the cheat code for anyone watching that is in their 20s. Time is the one thing you have that you can't get back. 10% saved at 22 is worth more than 50% saved at 42. The math on compounding is brutal in both directions, and the people who start early almost never regret it. Which leaves 80% to live on: rent, groceries, gas, phone bill, dates, haircuts, streaming services, dinner out, the occasional trip. All of it comes from the 80. If 80% feels tight, that's normal. Most young adults feel tight at first. The question isn't really whether it's tight. The question is whether you're letting lifestyle creep fill every inch of the space. I want to pause here because the order is actually the whole point. Most people are running an 80-10-10 plan. whether they realize it or not. They live first, they save what's left, and they give whatever's in the margin. That order means saving and giving end up getting whatever's left over, which is almost never much. 10-10-80 flips it. You pay God first. You pay your future self second. And what's left is what you actually live on. It forces clarity in a way that almost nothing else does. The principle is the order. Give first, save second, live on the rest. Now, here's the part I really don't want you to miss. Because most teaching on this stops at 10-10-80 and leaves you with the impression that those numbers are supposed to stay the numbers forever. They're not. 10-10-80 is a starting foundation. It's the rhythm to build your financial life on top of when you're young and just figuring it out. But if you stop there, you'll quietly drift into something I see happen all the time, which is lifestyle creep. Here's how it goes. You make a little more, you spend a little more. You make a little more, you spend a little more. The give and save percentages stay flat. The 80 just absorbs every raise. And 10 years later, you're making double what you used to. You don't really feel any more generous. You don't really feel any more secure. And you can't quite figure out where it all went. The real long-term goal, and this is the part I think gets undertaught, is to grow the giving and saving percentages over time while shrinking the percentage you're spending. Not the dollar amount. The dollar amount can absolutely grow, but the percentage of your income going to lifestyle should shrink as your income grows. What that looks like in practice is maybe in your 20s, you're at 10-10-80. In your 30s, as your income climbs, you're 15-15-70. In your 40s, maybe you're at 20-20-60 or even 25-25-50. Same person, same family, just deepening the stewardship rhythm as the resources grow. That's actually the difference between people who get rich and just live richer and people who get rich and quietly become more generous and more free. It's not a willpower thing. It's a habit you build into the rhythm early. So if you're staring at your first real paycheck right now, the best thing you can do tonight is open your banking app and your retirement portal and set up a few automatic moves. First, contribute enough to your 401k to capture your full employer match. Second, set up an automatic transfer to a giving account, timed to hit the day after your payday. Third, set up an automatic transfer to a savings account, also timed to the day after your payday. That's it. That's the whole move. 10-10-80. Give, save, live. In that order. Knowing that this is where you start, not where you stop. As your income grows, the give and save percentages should grow with it. If you want the full system, including how to think about giving, where to put your savings, how to handle debt, and how the framework grows up with you, I wrote a book called Purpose in Every Paycheck. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.